I would probably say diners themselves, because your nutrition is definitely a personal choice. If you choose to be unhealthy, that's something that shouldn't be forced upon you to make healthier choices. But I definitely think that, I mean, it's your own personal choice if you want to, you know, eat bad food or good food.
Ultimately, it's going to come down to the individual. It's their bodies, and they should know what they want to eat and how healthy they want to eat.
I'd say diners who eat at the restaurant should make that decision. Well, basically, it's up to you what you want to eat.
I think they all play a role. I think it ultimately falls on the diner, but the government should make sure that the restaurant has the information, so if the diner wants to get that information, they can get it.
The diners who eat at the restaurant. Because I think it's an individual decision, and you should be responsible for your own health and making healthy decisions about your eating habits.
Well, ultimately, it has to be the consumer. However, the consumer needs information. And that's where both business and government have to enter into the picture, provide the consumer with the information that they need in order to make an educated decision about what they eat.
It's the diners and the restaurant's responsibility to provide the information as well, but ultimately it's the diner who's making their own choices. So
I think the restaurant, because they would be definitely more informed on what's in the food.
Yes, I would support the Lean Act. And like I said, I want to know what I put in my body. That's just the bottom line.
I'd probably go with the Lean Act because it allows the consumer to have more information so that they can make more knowledgeable choices.
I'd probably go with the first one, the Lean Act. Because I think that if you are conscious about what you're eating and you really want to know, you can ask and that information can be provided to you. But I mean, a lot of people are going to a restaurant not to, you know, worry so much about what they're eating. They could have, you know, other things on their mind that if all that's right in their face, it might be overwhelming. So if you can request it, it should be available to you.
The one where they request it.
Okay.
I like the former. If I want to be conscientious about what I'm eating, I'm capable of asking for that information. If it's provided, then I can get it. Yeah.
I think I would support the Lean Act. That way, if a consumer wanted to be more informed on what was in their food and how nutritious it was, they could.
I think the first option, the Lean Act, because I think if people are presented with nutritional information and it's right there in front of them, the more information the better, you know, and that would really help in helping them to make a smart decision about their eating habits.
I'd say the first one. I don't really need to see all that information on the menu itself, but I imagine there's some customers who might be interested in knowing that information, and I'm sure it's not that hard. If you can ask your waitress for the special, you can ask her for some of the nutritional information, and she can just give you that on the spot.
The Lean Act. Make it available on request.
yeah, like you asked for it.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd say A.
Okay.
I think A is the logical, in my opinion, the logical choice. In that there is a growing wave of consciousness about healthy eating and everything, and I think the government can take a more active role in that. However, I don't think it should be forced upon the customers to see it everywhere they go. I mean, some people might not want to be aware of that stuff when they're trying to pick a menu item. So it's maybe imposing if it's forced to be shoved in everyone's face.
I'd say the first one definitely. They should be required to be able to, you know, give you information on what you're eating, and you know, because you don't know how it's being prepared, you don't know what's all going into it. So as long as it's available to you, I think that that's good, but I don't think they should be required by law to have it posted on a menu. And I definitely think that they, should be required to, give it to you if you ask. So it shouldn't be up to them. It should be up to you when you can receive that information.
I think I like A the most. It still requires the restaurant to provide the information, but it provides some flexibility as well.
Definitely A, our number one. Because people need to be informed and to be properly informed about what they are enjoying and eating.
Right.
And it's like anything else. It's like my kids going to school and checking their homework every evening and make sure that they don't slacked off and don't do it. Right. So it should be provided at all times.
Great.
I mean, I think that it's a good idea. It's a good, for the government to require that restaurants provide this kind of information, because heart disease is a huge issue and a huge problem, especially for women. And I think that if there was information provided, it's harder to say no, and it's easier to make healthy choices when the information is right there in front of you. So I think, something should definitely be done.
Well, it's absolutely. And nutrition and good diet is particularly important in this age of obesity and other health concerns. And it's important that the consumer be given the information that they need in order to make an educated choice on what they eat.
I definitely think it's a good idea. I mean, since I'm in the healthcare field, and I definitely have been open to, more ideas on healthy eating, and I'm pregnant right now, so I mean, there's obviously a lot of restrictions on what you can eat and what you should eat for that. So I think that if things like this are available when I go to a restaurant, so I can know what I am eating, it would be helpful for me being pregnant to know that information, because a lot of times you do have restrictions with that, and then people who are diabetic, stuff like that, if they have food restrictions, they should be able to get that information when they